Hello friends, welcome to my channel Living Life. I am going out today to harvest some of my horseradish. 2 years ago I planted a small batch and it has developed into a huge batch. Horseradish spreads. It's very easy to grow, but it is also very hard to get rid of if you want to get rid of it. We love horseradish, and I have a really good recipe that my mother-in-law actually has given me to process the horseradish, and it is really good if you want to make like a homemade cocktail sauce. It's really good. Or if you want to use it, like mix mayonnaise with it and make it into like a creamy horseradish for on the top of meats. But it is actually really good, and it is also really easy to grow. So I am going to take you over and show you how I harvest. It is it's actually the prime time right after your first really good freeze, when all of the leaves are falling over, is a real good time to dig it up. So I am going to take you over and we are going to dig some up, and then I will walk you through the process of just turning it into a really yummy condiment. So let's go over and take a look at what we have. We actually have already had the first snowfall. About a week and a half ago, we had 6 to 8 inches of snow, and so it's actually prime time now. Let me take you over here and show you. Right, and as you can see here, I have got all of the leaves. We actually, last week, I did harvest some. We dug some up, and my mother-in-law wanted a couple of real nice size roots, so I took some over to her. But as far as me harvesting for my own, I haven't done any of that yet. So we're going to get digging here. All right, see what we have here. Oh, there looks like there's a good root right there. Oh, it's a nice one. And you've got to dig down pretty deep, and you want to get under the root. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's a nice one. There we go. You can see how nice that is. You just twist these leaves off, and you can see right here. Now when I replant these, you don't have to replant because they'll just automatically grow from year to year. But if I want to plant these in another area, or just to make my patch bigger, you would just cut the tops off, and where these new sprouts are, you just put that right in the top of the dirt, and then in the spring they're gonna grow. So that's actually how I started my my batch here was, I got some of the tops a couple years ago from my mother-in-law's batch, and I planted them. The next spring they came up. You want to plant them in November too, before you get a lot of snow. You can plant them in the spring, but I planted mine in November. They came up perfectly. So we are going to gather up some more of these larger roots here. Here, nice one. Another nice one. A little one there. I broke that one. It's all right. There we go. There we go. All right. Get one more large fruit here. Oh, there's a couple good ones right here. Oh, and you have got to get down deep. These things, they grow and they reach deep. Okay. Oh. There we go. Yeah, this is a good batch right here. Get in a little bit deeper on these. Oh my goodness, that is a big root here. There we go. All right. Yeah, that is a good root. And that's why I said that it's not necessary. Whoa, boy, you can really smell it. It's pungent. That is why I said that you don't necessarily have to plant in the fall, because these roots reach down so deep that it's going to come up whether you replant or not. I mean, if you want to plant somewhere else, or if you want to give someone some of the starts, you just, like I said, about an inch, you cut off the top of the root, and all these new sprouts right here will be all new roots next season. So, all right, I will we'll go in and I'll show you the next steps. We you want to wash it real good, and then we'll peel it And then you can freeze them once they're washed, once they're peeled. Actually, you would wash them, but if you're going to freeze them, you don't want to peel them. I'll peel them later on after I take them out of the freezer. So let's show you what I got here. And so this is what we have right now. We've got some nice 6-8-inch roots here. Okay, friends, I am going to show you now how I turn this horseradish root that I dug up into a creamy, delicious horseradish sauce. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get our horseradish washed, and then we're going to peel it, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we are just going to get some warm water going here. Got a little scrub brush. We're going to be peeling the horseradish anyway, but I still like to use a little scrub brush here just to get the dirt off. Get this out of the way. And for this recipe that I have, we are going to be using, the recipe is calling for 6 8-inch pieces of horseradish root. Let me get this a little bit cooler. Steam up the camera here in a minute if it's too warm. Like I said, we are going to be peeling this horseradish real good, so the outer peel is going to come off anyway. Now, if you are wanting to keep your horseradish root, like if you want to freeze it, what you would do is we're going to do the same step. You are going to wash it, scrub it real good, but you are not going to peel it. What you would want to do if you want to freeze the horseradish root for a later time, you would scrub it real good, clean it, and then you would set it out on paper towel or a dish towel, and you'll let it fully dry, all the moisture out of it, and then you would put it in a freezer bag and just put it in the freezer. You want to get all of the moisture out, that way it doesn't create the ice crystals on the horseradish. So, just about done here. Couple more small pieces. Just cut that little piece off there. Go. One more. All right, here we go. Out. All right, now we're going to go to the other side of the sink, and we are going to get our horseradish peeled. All right, now I am going to just take a regular potato peeler and I am going to peel all of the outer skin off of the root. Try to hit the bowl here, but I don't know if it's gonna work. All right, you just want to get all of the skin off. And you can already smell how pungent this root is. It is a good horseradish crop this year, that's for sure. And you just want to make sure all of it is peeled really well. So I am going to get this peeled up and then we'll be back. And the one thing that I do want to tell you is when you are peeling or even processing the horseradish root in your blender or your food processor, it is going to burn your eyes just like onions, if not worse. So be prepared to have some Kleenex or tissue for your eyes. So we are going to get started now. I have already peeled all of the horseradish. I've got my food processor. You can use a blender, but I've used my blender before, but I kind of like the food processor. It just has more room for you to work with. So, all right. Now what we're going to do next is I am going to take my horseradish and I am going to, let's see, I've got a knife here. I am going to chop up, and it is pretty woody too, horseradish root is. So you want to be careful, but you want to get it chopped up in smaller pieces here. And see, I just have just small chunks that you can put in your food processor. We're gonna get them chopped up. Here's a little thin piece. We don't want that. Okay. Get this all chopped up here. Now this recipe that I have is a recipe that my mother-in-law has given to me, and it calls for white distilled vinegar, and it is really important. I used apple cider vinegar one time, and it just didn't have, it had a little bit of a bitter taste to it. And my mother-in-law said it was because I didn't use the white distilled vinegar. So that is what we are using today. All right, got a couple small pieces left. Okay, let's cut these in half. It's got a little bit of a piece. All right. Set that aside. Okay, and in what I'm gonna do is I am going to add just a little bit of cold water. The recipe is calling for a half cup of your white distilled vinegar, a half cup of water, a teaspoon of sugar, and just a pinch of salt. And what I am going to do is I'm going to add just a small amount of cold water to the food processor just to kind of get the processing started a little bit. So here we go. I am just going to take a small bit of cold water. Just put a little bit in here. Start from this side. All right. Okay, let me get a spatula here. And this is where you have to be really careful. You want to kind of have your face away. I actually opened up the window a few minutes ago. You need to have your face, oops, that is the, you need to have your face, oh boy, away from the food processor or blender. I'll tell you what, it hits you in the face like, whoa. Okay. Now, the other thing that you want to do also is the horseradish. I've got this wrote down here because I always forget the word, but the horseradish has a tendency to once you start mixing it, the heat comes out. And what vinegar does is vinegar stops the enzymatic, I always write it down, the reaction that creates the heat to the horseradish. So if you add the horseradish as soon as you start chopping, it's going to be a milder heat, where if you chop and then you wait 3 to 5 minutes, it brings out and makes a little hotter horseradish, and then you would add the vinegar to it, because the vinegar again will stop that reaction of the heat and it'll stop producing heat. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to wait any longer than 10 minutes to add your vinegar. If you wait any longer than 10 minutes, you're going to have a bitter taste to your horseradish sauce, and you don't want that. So we are going to continue chopping just a little bit, and then it's going to be about 5-6 minutes, and then we'll add our vinegar and our sugar and our water and our pinch of salt, and that will give us a really good flavor to our horseradish. So I am going to step back a little bit. Whoa. Oh, there goes the lid again. Okay. All right. Now I am going to go ahead and I am going to add, I am going to add my distilled vinegar now. So we're going to start with a half a cup. Okay, we are going to add our half a cup of our vinegar along with a half a cup of water. Okay. And then I am going to add my a teaspoon of sugar. And then I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. And then we are going to continue a little more. And you want to just continue blending until you get the creaminess and the texture that you want. So I do see one piece stuck up here. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to go ahead and you can, if it's not quite creamy enough for you, you can add a little more of the water. This looks like it has plenty of moisture. Well, plenty of moisture in it. So we are going to chop it we're going to blend it just a little bit more. I think that is perfect. So and what I usually do is I put it into mason jars, and it will keep in your refrigerator for a month, if not more. And then I like to use it, my husband really likes it on ham, so I will take a little bit of mayonnaise and I mix it with the horseradish, or for like a shrimp cocktail, if you want to make a really yummy cocktail sauce, just add a little bit of ketchup to it, and it is just really awesome. So I am going to actually be brave enough that I am going to taste just a tiny bit of it. Just to make sure that I've got the texture that I want. A little bit. Whoa. Yeah, that is hot. Woo, that is good. All right. So now what you want to do is let me get a spoon. Now you just want to take your horseradish and just add it to your jars. And like I said, you can store this in the refrigerator for a month, if not more. Just any mason jar, any airtight container. And then just put the lid on. Right in your fridge. And there you have it, folks. This is like the hottest homemade, homegrown horseradish sauce that you can get. But it is awesome, and it really is easy. Just remember the couple of things that I told you about the Make sure you have the windows open, a little bit of ventilation, and definitely don't stick your face in when you're mixing or opening up your blender or your food processor, because I'll tell you what, take it from me, it is worse than chopping onions. So anyway, folks, if you have liked the video that I've showed you today on making your homemade horseradish sauce, if you could give me a like, subscribe, and share my video, it would be greatly appreciated. And like always, guys, have a great rest of your day, and catch you on the next one.